The air inside Flamengo's headquarters crackles with urgency, as though the very walls are whispering, "Act now or lose him." Coach Felipe Luis's contract, the invisible thread that binds him to the Maracanã faithful, is set to snap at the stroke of midnight on December the 31st, 2025. With each passing day, the club risks watching their tacticians slip through their fingers, free to plot his next move elsewhere. Can Flamengo really afford to wait until the 11th hour, when rumours will swirl and leverage will shift? The board knows the stakes are high, and so behind closed doors, conversations have begun in earnest, early enough to give them the upper hand. But will it be enough to secure their man for the long haul? Every great leader needs a confidant, and for Felipe Luis, that ally is René Simões. Picture a dimly lit office, walls lined with trophies and faded black and white photos of past stories. Here, Simões dons the hat of mental mentor, probing his protégé's psyche with questions that cut deeper than any tactical briefing. "Flamengo devours you," he warns, voice low and measured, like a drumbeat echoing through the night. It's a relationship built on trust and tough love. Simões pushes Luis to embrace the relentless heat of expectation in Rio de Janeiro, sharpening his mind so that when match day arrives, doubts dissolve like morning mist. This bond adds another layer to the club's negotiation. It's not just about years on paper or dollars in the bank. It's about preserving the sanctuary that keeps their coach centered amid the storm. But what price do you put on mental armor? At first, whispers in the press painted a rosy picture. Whispers of a fresh, multi-year commitment stretching into the late 20s. Yet, as often happens in the footballing world, reality proved more nuanced. Enter journalist Vinay Casagrande, staging his own exposé on Saturday morning, July 12, 2025. In a video posted to his channel, Casagrande sifted through the rumours and emerged with a revelation. Flamengo's true offer is a one-year renewal, extending Luis's stay only until December 2026. That's right, one more season, not two, as some portals had claimed. The club's calculus? A cautious approach. Rewards strong performance while keeping the door ajar for reassessment next year. But when headlines have already splashed 2027 across their screens, how will fans recalibrate their expectations? And how will Luis feel about such a short leash? A single extra year might seem brief in footballing terms. After all, contracts often span 3 seasons or more. But here, brevity carries its own power. For Flamengo, it's a statement of intent. We believe in you, and we'll give you just enough runway to prove yourself again. For Luis, it's a double-edged sword, a chance to cement his legacy with another trophy haul. Yet a reminder that every gesture, every tactical tweak will be scrutinised anew come 2026. Imagine the tension. Every victory celebrated with cautious optimism, every loss dissected under a microscope. And when the 2026 winter rolls around, will the club extend the hand for another handshake, or will they chart a new course? The suspense will build with every match. Money talks, but in this case, Flamengo's offer reverberates like a well-tuned bell, signalling respect. Alongside the one-year term comes a natural uplift in salary, standard fare when clubs tie down their prize assets. Yet the numbers on Luis's new deal aren't mere digits. They're tokens of appreciation for the hours spent on the training ground, for the late-night video sessions tracing opposition patterns, and for the glue-like effect his presence has on the squad. As Flamengo's accountants shuffle spreadsheets and greenlit signatures fly across the desk, the coach earns more than just a fatter paycheck. He secures the club's belief in his vision. But will richer compensation quell any lingering doubts, or will it only raise the bar of expectation? Just back to October 2024, when Felipe Luis, former left-back turned tactician, walked through the tunnel into Flamengo's dugout. He had big shoes to fill. The legendary Tite had just departed, leaving a vacuum of trust and familiarity. Luis arrived carrying his own brand of calm intensity, clipboard in hand, voice measured yet charged with conviction. Early training sessions crackled with energy, defenders mastering tighter lines, midfielders learning to press like coiled springs, attackers rehearsing movements that blurred across the final third. The fans watched with a blend of skepticism and hope, murmuring in the stands, can he really do it? With each whistle, Luis wove his patterns onto the club's rich tapestry, and soon the Maracanã began to hum in harmony with his style. But every fresh start brings its doubts. Would this new melody endure the harsh rhythms of Brazilian football? Numbers don't lie, and Luis's ledger gleams. Since taking charge, he has shouldered Flamengo through dozens of fixtures with only 4 defeats. One of those setbacks came on the grandest of stages. A gritty, high-stakes clash at the FIFA Club World Cup where Bayern Munich's relentless efficiency edged them past 1-0. Picture the floodlights, the roar of the German fans, the shock of the final whistle. It was a collision of titans, and Flamengo emerged bruised but unbowed. Yet just weeks later, Luis orchestrated a statement victory over Chelsea, sending shockwave through football circles with a commanding 3-1 scoreline. The echoes of that win still ripple through the training ground, where players recall the taste of triumph over European powerhouses. A stark reminder that under Luis's direction, Flamengo can dance with giants. These results are more than statistics, they're proof of a method taking shape. But how far can this momentum carry on the domestic front? If victories are the currency of dreams, then trophies are the treasure chests. Under Luis's watch, Flamengo has already stashed 3 gleaming prizes on their mantle. First came the Copa do Brasil, a knockout marathon that tested every ounce of the squad's resolve. Fans still recall the tension of penalty shootouts, the collective gasp with each saved spot kick, a roller coaster of emotion that ended with the coach's arms raised skyward. Next, the Supercopa arrived like a sudden sunrise, a curtain-raiser triumph that set the tone for a season of ambition. And then, closer to home, the Campeonato Carioca fell into Flamengo's lap, the Carioca Cup delivering local bragging rights with all the flair of Rio's carnival spirit. Each trophy carries its own story, the roar of the crowd, the taste of champagne on sweaty skin, the flash of photographers' bulbs. Now, as Luis considers that 1-year extension, he knows the margin for error has shrunk. Another title run could turn cautious optimism into full-blown conviction. So here we stand on the threshold of another chapter. The ink barely dry on the proposed contract, yet the air already thick with what-ifs. Will Flamengo's faithful embrace this shorter deal as a smart, performance-driven move, or will they clamour for a longer commitment to signal unwavering faith? Can Filipe Luis ride the wave of his early successes into a golden era, or will the pressure cooker of expectations ignite fresh crises? And what of the mental mentorship, the salary raise, the whispered strategies drawn up on tactical boards? Will they coalesce into sustained greatness or fade like footprints on the sand? The countdown to December 2026 has begun, and every match from here on out carries extra weight. The scent of rain on the Maracanã pitch, the thunder of drums in the stands, the collective heartbeat of a city craving victory. All of it converges on one question: what comes next? Stay tuned because the story is far from over.